The medium is the message. That's a famous line from one of the first books on media theory, written in 1964 by philosopher Marshall McLuhan. It meant that the way content is delivered can be more powerful than the content itself. Case in point, 4 years before McLuhan's book was published, 70 million Americans tuned in live to the first ever televised presidential debate.
The candidates need no introduction. The Republican candidate, Vice President Richard M. Nixon, and the Democratic candidate, Senator John F. Kennedy.
As the story famously goes, Nixon showed up looking pale, refused makeup, and was sweaty by about 12 minutes into the program.
I believe that we have the secret for progress. We know the way to progress. And I think, first of all, our own record proves that we know the way.
Telegenic was barely a word in 1960, but John F. Kennedy defined it for a generation.
This is a great country, but I think it could be a greater country. And this is a powerful country, but I think it could be a more powerful country.
The polls turned around overnight. Nixon had a thin lead before the debate, but the next day, the advantage went to his tanned and powdered rival. Lyndon B. Johnson, then Kennedy's running mate, was surprised. He thought Nixon had won the debate, but that's probably because LBJ reportedly listened to the debate on the radio. A lot has changed since the early days of television, a 24/7 cable news cycle, hyper-partisan talk shows on the radio. Do you remember Rush Limbaugh? Scores of political podcasts and the endless doom scroll of social media have created an information and disinformation overload. It's impacting trust in the media. According to a Gallup poll, journalists rank just above car salespeople, members of Congress, and telemarketers on the list of mistrusted professionals. Shout out to nurses, though, a well-deserved first place. Trust in the media is so low that half of Americans surveyed believe news organizations are deliberately trying to mislead them, present company excluded, obviously, and some major recent developments are doing little to help the cause. Fox News settled a defamation case brought by Dominion Voting Systems for $787 million. Fox then canned Tucker Carlson, a chief perpetuator of the big lie that voter fraud cost Donald Trump the 2020 election. And that, of course, was fake news. More recently, a U.S. district judge in Louisiana prohibited agencies in the Biden administration from pressuring social media companies. A lawsuit claimed that officials frequently tried to squash stories about things like COVID vaccine safety, election integrity, and Hunter Biden's infamous laptop. These examples give politicians in the United States a bogeyman to point to and say, "See, I told you so." But media is also taking a trip to the upside-down world these days. CNN hosted a controversial town hall with GOP frontrunner Donald Trump.
That was a rigged election, and it's a shame that we had to go through it.
And Elon Musk invited Tucker Carlson to host a show on Twitter.
UFOs are actually real, and apparently so is extraterrestrial life.
As if the media landscape weren't already littered with landmines as we head into another election, along comes this.
You know, people might be surprised to hear me say this, but I actually like Ron DeSantis. A lot. Yeah, I know. I'd say he's just the kind of guy this country needs, and I really mean that.
No, she doesn't, because she never said it, except maybe late at night to Bill just to annoy him. That was an AI-generated deep fake video, one of, unfortunately, thousands that we will be exposed to over the course of this campaign. This will be the first presidential election in the age of generative AI, and the potential for pitfalls is enormous. If Marshall McLuhan were around today, I wonder if he'd come to the same conclusion that the medium is the message. Maybe now it's more like the message is all that matters if enough people believe it.